Hello, it's Dominique. So we're starting tutorial number 1 for this project. So first we're doing the cover. This is chipboard. As you can see, I have all my pieces of chipboard here. So I'm going to measure those for you. So I'm making the same, I was not sure if I would make the same size as this one, but I decided to do it so it's easier for you to follow. So first of all, I have two pieces of, I took the 8.5 by 11 pieces of chipboard. So I have the 8.5. This is all 8.5, okay? Every single one are 8.5 long or high. So here I cut one piece in two, so I have two of 5.5, which would be the outside. Okay, so two of those. Then if you see here, you need to have the ones here in the center need to be a little smaller because they have to be contained inside here. You don't want this to stick out. So I just removed like 1/8 of an inch, or yeah, 1/4 of an inch. So here I have, let me check, I don't have the right ones here. So I have two of the 8.5 high by 5.25. So I just removed 1/4 inch on these. Next we have two little spines. So I made them the same size as this one, just a little bit more, just so that I have more room for my photos, because I always do so many interactions that I end up being a little short here. So I decided to do just like 1/16 of an inch more. So 8.5 high by 1.25 inch, two pieces of the same. And now I'm going to show you something I did wrong when I did this one. So I had cut this piece here twice the size of this one, so like twice, like as if I had like this high, this much. So I cut that. But what I did not realize then is that I have all of this, the chipboard, the two chipboards here. I have the ribbon, I have the magnets inside. This adds some thickness. As you can see, I have like 1/4 inch here more. So what you, or maybe 3/8. So you need to have this one a little wider than twice this piece. So what I did, I put my piece of chipboard that I had here. I put one piece here, and then I put another one here next to it with a little gap between the two, like 1/8 of an inch. Not even that, it's a little bit less than that, maybe 3/16 of an inch. And then I took my two pieces and I put them here. So that gave me, and then I even added a little bit. So that gave me this measurement, which is 8.5 high by 2 7/8. So that's the size of this one. So remember, if you want to redo that project, you need to have the inside pieces here, these big ones, a little shorter than the outside ones, and you need to have your large spine a little bit bigger than twice the two spines that you have. So here I added 1/4 inch exactly. So I have this size, the size of my 2 plus 1/4 inch. Okay, now what I've done is I have got my paper for making the base of the book. So you won't get to see much of that, but it's good to have a piece of paper that would match your paper collection. So what I've done is I have, because these are 8.5 and these are 8.5, so I have to use them this way. But it's okay, because what I like to do is I like to have a joint of paper where I have the spine. So a joint here, somewhere around here, here, or here, where it's going to be covered with fabric and some ribbon and things like that. So I cut just 1 inch here from my 11. So I have 8.5 by 10. So here you have to make sure you have identified your pieces. So here I have 5.5, 5.5, 5 1/4, because they look alike and you might be making mistakes. You don't want to do that. So I'm gonna just glue those one next to the other, so that's the way to join them. If you have 12 by 12, you might end up doing the same measurements as mine, because you need to have a joint where the spine is, because you don't want to have a joint like here or here. So you have to have it where it's hidden by with the fabric or ribbon. So this one's a little longer, it doesn't matter. So I just join them like 1/4 inch, just 1/4 inch. Okay, try and have them a little straight. Doesn't matter if they're not, but it's better if they are. So I'm going to start. So now we have to start, as you can see here, we start with the 5 1/4 here. Okay, that's 5 1/4. Then we have a small spine, 5 1/2, big spine, 5 1/2, small spine, and 5 1/4. That's the way to. So I start with the 5 1/4. I've done also the technique for making the book with those strips of paper around. They take much less paper, but they're much more work. So whatever you want. So either you have those strips that you fold, so you you have to have at least 1 inch strip that you fold into, so you can wrap those. But I prefer to have them to have the whole paper now. Okay, so here, this is going to be a little bit too close to the outside, so I'm going to glue that here a little bit further, so that it's where the fabric and ribbon will be. So now I have this one piece. I left like equal here. I have almost an inch here and maybe three quarters of an inch all around, so that you can wrap it. So now I'm taking one small spine, and you have to leave 3 times the thickness of your chipboard between the pieces, especially because I'm using heavyweight cardstock. You can use regular cardstock, it's okay, but this is so thick that you need more space. So here I left probably 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch, 1/8. I mean, I'm gonna leave a little bit more, so like 3/8 of an inch. This is about 1/8 of an inch, a 16th, 3/16. Yeah, that's what I meant, not 3/8. 3/16 of an inch. That's what I'm leaving between each piece. Now I'm doing the 5 1/2. Also, I wanted to say, when you watch the video, before you start, make sure you watch the next one, because sometimes after I finish filming and I'm uploading it on YouTube, and I watch it, I say, oh no, I made a mistake here, I should have done that different. So it's nice for you to see if I have anything that I want to rectify on the next video. Okay, so now this one's going to be here. That's good. So that's the large spine. So always my 3/16 of an inch all around. I mean each piece here. Now I need another one here. So I'm going to do that underneath. This. Then I'm going with my 5 1/2. Okay, 5 1/2. Same amount here. And then my small spine. Same amount of space between every single piece. And you can check with something like a ruler to see if they're straight. You go like this, and if it's straight. If it's not going like this, or if you don't see like a space that is one piece that is too high or too low, that's the way to follow to find out that if everything is straight, because this is important to have them straight. Here I'm going to remove a little bit because I want the joint to be there. I'm removing a little bit here, paper. Then I'm going to glue that one on. And also, if you see that the video is stopping, it's going to continue on the next video. Try and have them, it doesn't have to be so straight, but as straight as you can. And then I end with my 5 1/4. It would be better if you had the joint on a piece of chipboard, not in the space here, because then when you fold it, it's harder. Here, check. All nice, all good. That's it. Then I'm going to remove the excess. So I have 5 1/4, small spine 5 1/2, big spine 5 1/2, small spine 5 1/4. That's the way to do it. Okay, I'm leaving 3/4 of an inch or a little bit more. So now all you have to do is cut with scissors. All the magnets there. The corners, remember the corners? We cut like a V. So we don't go like total 45 degree. We go less, and we go not totally exactly to the corner. You have to leave at least the thickness of your chipboard space, and then you go up like this. There. That's the way to do it. Okay, so you do that 4 corners, and then you just glue them, wrap your chipboard like you've seen in other videos that I make. So I'm going to stop the video here, and I will be doing that and continuing on the next video. And then you have to get some fabric. I forgot to tell you that. Fabric that you want to cover your spines with, like I did here. This was really thick. I don't recommend too thick because it's hard to fold. If you have some fabric that you want to use is really thick, make sure you leave enough space, like 3/8 of an inch or even a little bit more, maybe just about a 1/4 inch. Okay, and some ribbon as well. You have to find in your stash what you're going to use. And here the mistake I had done. It's not a mistake, but at first it was not closing right because I had my magnets going underneath where my ribbon is. So make sure you have something not too thick, or what we're going to do is we're going to have the magnets a little bit more on the inside here, not right there. So make sure you have your ribbon, you know where to put your magnets, because we're going to do that next video, where to put the magnets on these pieces here. Okay, so gather that and then bring it back, and then we're going to work on that. And also what you want to do, if you cut your pieces of fabric, you want to have like at least 1/2 inch on each side higher, and the same, or yeah, the same for the width. Okay, so you need to have that. 2 pieces for the small hinges or spines, 1 for the large spine here. You need 3 pieces. So get that ready, and then I'll be back with the next video. And also you make sure you get the outside, what you're going to have on the outside of your book, you need to have that ready too. So make sure you pick that up, and then we're going to work on that when I come back. So see you later. Thank you.